In this lesson, we'll have a look at functions within ActionScript, how they are created, how they are invoked, and the different properties that can be attributed to them. A function within ActionScript is a set of code that performs a specific task and is grouped together to be executed at certain times within a larger program. So here we have a basic class, and what we're going to do is create a new function here. So on line 6 we have our basic constructor function. We're going to ignore that for now and go down a few lines to declare another function. So we're going to declare this as a private function. You could use whatever you want. And we use the keyword function. And we're going to call this getMoney, because it's basically just going to trace out a certain amount of money for us. And when you create a function, you're always going to use the opening and closing parentheses to declare that. Now we have to put in a return type. So the return type here is simply going to be void, because it doesn't actually return anything. But if you were returning some value, whether it's a number or a string or integer or an array or something else, you could actually type that here. It's always important to remember that ActionScript is a strongly typed language in both variables and functions. Now we open up our curly brace and close our curly brace. Whatever code we place within this function is going to run whenever we invoke the function getMoney. So what do we want to have happen here? What I'm going to do is create a variable. So I'll create a private variable called money, and I'm going to data type that to an integer and set it equal to maybe 100 units. So now in my getMoney function, I'm basically just going to trace out the value of money. So we have our getMoney function, and it's tracing out a private variable of money which has a value of 100. So if I debug this right now to run it, you'll notice nothing actually happens. That's because we have yet to invoke this function. Even though it exists within our class, it never gets called. We have to explicitly call this function. And the way we do that is very simple. We're going to invoke the function from within our constructor function. So we'll go within the constructor function and simply declare getMoney. And notice that when we invoke our function, we're actually using both the name of the function and we use the parentheses as well. So let's debug this now, and you can see that money actually does shoot out in our console window 100 units, just as we expected. So these parentheses are here for a reason, and that reason is because we can actually send data from our invocation through our function to do something within the code of that function. So perhaps we want to send over what those units entail. So in this case, maybe a $sign to indicate American dollars. Okay? So within our function here, we have to set this up to actually accept that. We know this is a string, so what we'll do is we'll declare an attribute here, a little argument, and we'll just call this sign, perhaps, and we'll data type that to a string. So now when we trace this out, we can say sign plus money. So what's going to happen is it's going to take this sign parameter and it's going to concatenate that with our money variable, which we declare way up top here. So if we debug this, and we have to save our file, you can see that indeed it does concatenate that successfully. We could always change this to something else if we wanted to. Perhaps, I'll just say a lot of in a space. And if we run that, we've got lots of 100. So in this example, we've seen how to create functions, how to invoke them, and how to pass properties and attributes between them.